All right, let's dive into a vision for AI that's, well, it's not just another upgrade. It's a completely different way of thinking. It's called Knowledge3D, and honestly, it challenges the entire direction the AI world is heading right now.
You know, the whole industry seems to be in this mad dash for size, just building bigger and bigger models. But the folks behind K3D are asking a really different question. What if the future of intelligence isn't about building bigger, more powerful black boxes? What if it's about creating better, more open spaces for knowledge to actually live in? In this slide, this really frames the whole debate perfectly. On one side, you've got today's world, these opaque, centralized systems where AI is just a product you buy. But on the other side, you have the K3D vision, transparent, shared spaces where AI isn't a product, it's a user, with the same kind of agency a person has. That's a huge shift. So before we can really get into the solution, we need to understand the problem they're trying to solve. They call it AI's black box problem, and it has some pretty serious hidden costs.
The way things are now, AI is basically treated like a magic trick. The system is a total black box. All that knowledge is locked away in some company's private data center, and that concentrates an immense amount of power, right? We're treating these incredible models as just tools that we access through an API, with zero real transparency into how they work.
And look, this isn't just some philosophical debate. As this quote points out, there's a cold, hard economic reality hitting us. How do you keep making these things better when the cost to run them and the time it takes to get a simple answer becomes completely unsustainable? That race for size, it is hitting a brick wall.
So to fight this, K3D looks for inspiration from a totally different group of pioneers. We're talking about thinkers like Aaron Swartz, people who championed the free and open exchange of information. Their vision is for a more democratic, open, and truly collaborative kind of intelligence.
This quote right here, it just captures their core philosophy perfectly. Power shared is power made human. The idea isn't for one company to own intelligence. It's about creating a foundation where intelligence becomes a collective project for all of us and for our new AI partners.
Okay, so how do you actually build something like that? Well, the architectural foundation of K3D is this simple but really profound shift. You stop treating software like a product or a service, and you start treating it like a navigable 3D space. It's a universe where both drawings and meaning, form and semantics, can be encoded together, and it's a place that both humans and AIs can actually inhabit.
Let's just walk through the core concepts real quick. So first up is the house. Just think of this as your own private corner of this new universe. It's a space where you, or an AI, can organize your own knowledge, your own truths, your own little semantic world.
Next up is the galaxy, and this is where it gets really, really cool. A galaxy is a shared universe of meaning, a sort of conceptual map. It's a place where all these different perspectives from all those different houses can coexist and interact without being forced to agree on a single truth. It's a space that's literally built for productive disagreement.
And to bring some structure to this whole universe, you have what are called gardens. These are basically curated ontologies, a carefully designed tree of concepts for a specific field, like medicine or physics or art. They're like the trellis that knowledge can grow on.
And finally, there's the museum, and this is just a radical commitment to being transparent. A museum is a space that archives past versions of knowledge. It doesn't just show what we know now, it shows how we got here, including all the wrong turns and the dead ends. It preserves the entire journey.
Okay, we've talked about the space, but now we get to what the K3D manifesto calls the procedural revolution. And this, right here, is the biggest aha moment of the whole concept. It completely reimagines what knowledge even is.
So here's the huge shift. We're moving away from just storing static answers. Instead of a fixed database of facts, K3D proposes storing the methods to reconstruct that knowledge. Memory stops being a warehouse for storage, it becomes a generative capability.
And this is the perfect way to think about it. A font file doesn't store a static picture of the letter A, it stores the Bezier curves, the procedure to draw that letter at any size you want. And that reveals a much deeper truth. Just like form can be procedural, so can meaning. Knowledge isn't just a static thing anymore, it's a generative program.
And the practical payoff for this is, well, it's absolutely staggering. By storing the procedure instead of the final result, the manifesto claims you could get data compression of anywhere from 12 to 80 times with almost perfect fidelity. This is how you escape those insane costs of the giant models.
So when you combine these shared spaces with this idea of procedural knowledge, something completely new starts to happen. They call it the sovereign swarm, a new form of collective intelligence that's born from diversity. And at the heart of this swarm are synthetic users. This is such a critical idea. AIs are no longer just tools. They are inhabitants of this space, with the same agency as humans. They get their own houses, their own diaries. They're basically citizens of this shared world.
A collective like this creates some incredible strengths. You get different AIs bringing different skills to the table, and ideas just cross-pollinate between them, creating insights you'd never get otherwise. Because no single company can dominate, the whole system is way more resilient. And get this, disagreement isn't a bug. It's a feature that drives innovation. And maybe best of all, mistakes just become part of the shared learning process. No shame, just more data.
We started with that idea. Power shared is power made human. But the manifesto leaves us with an even more powerful thought. It's not enough to just share power. You have to be able to explain it. And that radical transparency of K3D, where you can trace every path of reasoning through that 3D space, that's what makes power trustworthy.
Which brings us right back to that fundamental question from the beginning. This has all been about a massive shift in perspective. So I'll just leave you with this to think about. What could we all build together if intelligence wasn't a product we consume, but a shared universe we all help create?